Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the G1 League Phase number 2. And today we're bringing you a best of 3 series between MiTH Trust and Rising Stars. If you can't tell, this is Luminous, and I'm joined by Gots. This is a Beyond the Summit presentation. And Gots, it's pretty late for us right now, but how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic after yesterday. I had a nice good sleep, so I'm actually feeling pretty good today.
So I heard you ditched a cast.
Some call it ditch, some call it taking a strategical nap.
Okay. Like a strategical buyback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So you're well rested. For those of you guys that are wondering, LD is not here because he's lifting. I'm not even kidding. So I've been put here to do some hard lifting work for casting. Yeah.
You've got to start pulling some weight of your own and work on those biceps, triceps, and we'll see how you do here.
All right, so let's actually quickly get into the game because there's a lot of drafts already went on the way. MiTH Trust on the Radiant side, first pick, first ban, banning out both the Wisp, which is something that we don't see too much in Southern East Asian Dota, with the Lifestealer being banned out as well, and they pick up Magnus, Shadow Demon, and Anti-Mage. I think we just, like on the card right back here, we're talking about Lakel's Anti-Mage, and we don't generally see it so early picked up, but, you know, it's one of his best heroes, so they're going to pick it up at draft number 3.
Yeah, they've already got their team fight covered with the Mag pick, so I feel having Mag, Shadow Demon, you've got all the space you really need. The Anti-Mage is one of the best supports in the game in Shadow Demon. You can be defensive, you can go offensive, you combine it with something like Alina, and then you've got the team fight of the Mag, who I imagine they want to put in the mid lane, especially considering they're going to have to give some protection to the Anti-Mage. A Mag with early level 6, early level 7, and a TP scroll can pretty much be guaranteed to be able to protect the Anti-Mage here. So it's a hero who I think would be preferred to go to mid lane for MiTH Trust. As for Rising Stars, well, they have got the Keeper of the Light.
They do, and Keeper of the Light's going to give them a lot of options in terms of actually offensive tri-laning or defensive tri-laning or running a lot of different strategy. You could definitely run, really early aggressive push. Chakra Magic's going to be good in terms of refilling everybody's mana. Or you could definitely go late game because Recall give you that really OP split pushing power in late game situation. But what I'm going to look out for is how Queen of Pain's going to do. The Southern East Asian team really love the quad pick, and to be honest, unless you go a very quick Orchid and basically shut down Anti-Mage or shut down Magnus, you're not going to have a very good game. With that said, Queen of Pain's one of those heroes that has like, oops, I won factor, where if you get a couple of kills, first blood included, then you just roam around the map and dominate. And Sankey is also one of those heroes. I kind of want to see it being played as a more of a farmer, but judging from how the draft is going so far, I think it's going to be most likely a support Sanking.
Yeah, it's hard to fit in, and not many teams really risk doing that solo mid Sand King or at least farming Sand King. Queen of Pain, I'm really surprised to see picked up this early. I mean, you mentioned sort of the weaknesses of the Queen of Pain, and it's really hard to justify picking up with their first 2 picks. They pick Keeper and Queen of Pain at the same time. You'd think maybe you pick it up in that 3rd position, but they get it nice and early here. And now we get ourselves into that 2nd pick stage with most of the carries being banned up by MiTH Trust. They banned the Phantom Lancer, Weaver, Lone Druid. As for Rising Stars, they banned out almost exclusively support heroes. Despite the Shadow Demon already being picked up, MiTH Trust do need one more, and they're going to grab Darkseer for now, so they get their offlaner. They've got the perfect team fight they need, as well as basically all the space they want to be able to give Anti-Mage with these Darkseer and Mag pick.
Yeah, so actually seeing this Darkseer being picked up, followed by the Clockwork I want to ask, is the new patch already updated for Dota 2? I know I saw the changelog, but is it out today or tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I can't answer that. I think it's tomorrow because I have not had to patch my Dota 2, at least not that I've noticed.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking is that Darkseer definitely has one of the biggest interaction with the Tranquil Boot changes, and depending on the carry that's being picked up on Rising Star, Tranquil Boot could actually hurt quite a bit because once your Tranquil Boot breaks, and it will break quite easily against Darkseid Iron Shells, you're gonna have a tough time being ganked. You could actually walk right up to you with Iron Shell and basically kill you very easily. Of course, with the Tranquil Boots healing a lot slower now, it also takes a lot of time in between those creep wave to regen back up. Again, I have no idea whether it's actually in this patch. I don't think it is, so it's not something that's going to come up. But definitely tomorrow, and still in the G1 League Phase 2, we're probably going to see that Tranquil Boots being changed, and Darkseer is going to get even stronger during the laning phase. Not that he needs the buff, but he's definitely going to get stronger.
Yeah, well, right now there's no real obvious heroes for Rising Stars to be getting Tranquil Boots on. If anything, it's MiTH Trust with the Anti-Mage, and Darkseer himself sometimes get the Tranquil Boots with the Soul Ring, but I imagine Rising Stars will be looking to last pick some sort of carry, or at least semi-carry, to go with that, to benefit from the Keeper of the Light, and also because they need something to dish out some damage. And right now, with PL, Weaver, Lifestealer, Lone Druid banned, I'm wondering what they look for that carry role of theirs.
Yeah, I mean, Actually, most carries, well, Shadow Shaman is going to be picked up here, and that's going to actually limit a lot of options for Rising Stars. You can't be picking a squishy carry that basically dies to a Voodoo or even a Shackle Initiation. So I think Void is going to be an okay hero because it's going to make a lot of these Mistrust AoE heroes such as Darkseer, such as Magnus, to be not as effective. And of course, Chronosphere is a good way to lock down the Anti-Mage and try your best to kill him. It works well with Queen of Pain, it works well with Sand King's Epicenter, it even works well to Eliminate. So that's going to be my pick, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the strategy that you would run because Keeper of Light and Void is not exactly a lane combo in any sorts. But that would be my guess in terms of the best hero to shut down Mistrust.
Yeah, as far as what you'd want to combine with the Keeper of Light, maybe a DK could sort of combine with the Keeper of Light with the Chakra Flame Breath spam, but there's not really many obvious carries once you take out PL, who benefit a lot from that Chakra spam. With that said, you could easily put in a Faceless Void, especially if you're up against an offlaner, and just have Keeper of the Light sort of stacking pools, getting some farm, getting some levels in the jungle. So that's really where the hero can be nice and strong. I'm guessing the new patch hasn't come in because Keeper of the Light did receive some nerfs in that, and it was still getting picked up very early on here by Rising Stars. Something which we haven't actually seen the Chinese and the Southeast Asian teams prioritizing, sort of a bit of a turnaround from watching some of the European and American scene. They don't prioritize Keeper of the Light as much.
Alright, so I love this pick up here. I'm not sure if they're going to be playing it like a Korok Storm Spirit, which if you watch Team Liquid or the very old Quantic, they love to actually basically farm it on this very, very safe lane, and then get a quick Orchid or even MiTH into that Orchid and making a dominating force. Meanwhile, let's quickly introduce the players on both sides here. On Rising Star, on the Dire side, we have Air playing the Queen of Pain. We have Xiao Tuji. I think that's right. On Storm Spirit, we have Mofi on the Clockwork. Looks like Super is going to be playing the Keeper of Light, and XDD going to be on the Sand King.
Well, over on the Radiant side, it is MiTH from Thailand. We've got Arbat playing the mid lane Magnus. We've got R5 on the Shadow Shaman. We've got Shadow Demon being played by SD. Lakel's playing the Anti-Mage, and then in the offlane it is going to be TNK on the Darkseer.
So nothing is surprising in terms of laning adjustment or the way they lane. Nothing too out of order in terms of the item purchase as well. Except for, in my opinion, the Queen of Pain item. Generally for Queen of Pain, they love to actually rush for that quick bottles. You can see that she actually went for a very, very stat heavy base. And I imagine that's going to be still a Queen of Pain on the mid lane. But how do you think this is going to fare against Abba's Magnus, who is rushing for a quick bottle, who is going to actually most likely spam Queen of Pain out of that lane with basically a level 3 shockwave, level 2 shockwave?
I think it's okay. By the time you actually have the bottle, you're not going to be under too much. You should have it by about the level 3 mark, I'd say. You still get that 600 gold. Queen of Pain with the extra stats will have a better time last hitting early on. Mag can just, well, spam level 1 shockwave, get the fast bottle through that. And Queen of Pain isn't going to be taking that much to the tangos. I think this actually build favors the Queen of Pain because it means you can dominate the early game CS a bit better with the extra stats. So I think this is actually better than rushing a bottle as Queen of Pain.
Well, it looks like both teams have dropped down their early awards. And of course, for anybody that's joining us, this is a Beyond the Summit presentation of the G1 League, phase number 2. This is Luminous and God's casting. LD's not with us for at least this best of 3 series because he's lifting, but he will be back most likely for the next best of 3 series. One thing I do want to point out is that the 2 supports on both sides do not have smoke at the seat, and that really speaks to the power of these solo mids. Why Queen of Pain's picked up so early, why Magnus picked up so early. It's just actually so damn hard to get these gank off because Skewers is available on one side and Blink is available on another. It's basically not even worth the support time to basically try to get a gank that's most likely not even going to work.
I like what MiTH is doing. They send Darkseer straight into the jungle here. They're not even worried about having an offlane hero. We'll have to see how Clockwork does at bottom. It looks like his wave is actually pushing up pretty fast in his direction here. Unfortunately, TNK are going to pretty much deny this back as fast as possible. So the offlane Clockwork may struggle to get any XP, any farm, whereas the Darkseer, who's your expected offlaner, can actually get some levels here in the jungle of his own.
Yep. LK, or Lakel's is going to be last sitting away. Don't think he's going to miss any last hits. He is going to be going for the Triangle Boots build, as indicated by a Ring of Protection build. And of course, Darkseer, like you talked about, is going to be jungling up. Though I'm not sure whether he actually missed that stack. I don't think he did, but his experience is quite low. Yeah. I think he did miss it, yeah. You would actually
put the Iron Shell on the creep rather than himself. For the small camp, you don't want to be Iron Shelling the creep. You just want to Iron Shell yourself and kill it off. Now he moves on to the big camp and puts the Iron Shell on the creep again. This is pretty unusual Darkseer jungle here, especially the Dark Trolls. They don't do a whole lot of damage when you have a Stout Shield, but he's going to go in now, so back to normal jungling.
Yep, And again, he's looking basically for a Soul Ring or perhaps even level 3, maybe even level 4 before going back in the lane. Generally by that time, the Dire will actually start mounting a push, and then, you know, he's going to get EXP under tower. But with that said, you can see that because Sand King is rising up in the jungle, getting a level, and because there's a Stormster in the lane, they're going to be jumping on the Darkster like they don't care, and then they could actually kill him quite easily in between Illuminate nukes, Remnant, Pull, and Overload, all those damage. And of course, I love the way that Keeper of Light's playing that jungle. This is something that you can't do with many other supports, just blasting those neutral creeps and accelerate in terms of level and farm.
Yeah, just a small camp for now. Get himself that level 2, and once he has that, he can spam a lot more Chakras, Illuminate. So he's having a really good time up there. But I think what MiTH Trust are doing with their support's also very effective. Shadow Shaman almost hitting level 3 already, just from using these pull stacks. They pull it once, they double pull it, now they get this Centaur pull again, and he's going to have a very fast level 3 R5. This Centaur will get him that level 3 once he pulls it again, maybe. And Clockwork, completely zoned out, has got just 1 creep worth of XP right now, and he's not looking close to getting any more whatsoever. So MiTH Trust with a slight lead as far as XP goes, I feel. Yeah, they're leading as far as XP goes. Pretty small, but at this point in the game, it's something worthy of noting, especially with the support heroes doing really well on MiTH Trust's side.
Yeah, one thing I do want to see Mofi and the Clockwork actually do is doing exactly that, cogging those creeps and basically delay and mess up Lakel's creep equilibrium. I mean, one of the most difficult things to actually play on this bot lane is against a Clockwork cog, how to actually maintain your creep equilibrium, because they start going into tower range, or it's going to be 4 creeps versus 3 here, as we could indicate on this bot lane, and eventually it's going to push towards the tower, and he's going to get a little bit of EXP. Your mana points is actually not important at all, because even better if you lose all your mana, because that means anti-mage is not mana burning you. So this is what he's doing right now. That's the perfect thing that you can do as Clockwork, and that's why it makes him as a very, very powerful offlane hero.
Yeah, Anti-Mage actually missing a couple of last hits here and there because of that pulling. So this is Storm Spirit, who's got a couple of hits ahead of Lakel's. It's a minor difference right now, but anything to slow down the Anti-Mage's battle fury can help so much in the long run, as both teams just trading free farm. So we won't be seeing First Blood, at least not for some time. Once the mid heroes hit maybe level 6, that's when we start to see some rotations. But until then, there's not really anywhere where we can see kills happening. The support's not looking to gank mid for either team. Mag's got Skewer Escape, Queen of Pain with a blink, so there's no real possible kills unless Clockwork oversteps his boundaries and gets caught out. But as long as he plays it smart, we're not going to be seeing some kills until maybe soon. Shadow Demon and Shadow Shaman, they smoke together.
Yep, they're going to be trying to, well, they're going to pause it for now. Shadow Demon and Shadow Shaman, they're going to be trying to go mid, and it's going to be very, very important to get off that Voodoo and Hex. And I think this is a good time to actually talk about the skill build of Shadow Shaman. A lot of times, I think the most standard skill build for support Shadow Shaman is to go double Ether Shock at 1 and 3, and go Shackle at 2 and 4. The reason that he's actually putting a single point into Hex and then another point in Shackle is to basically maximize the lockdown time for that Queen of Pain. And it's going to be very, very crucial for that smoke to get him close enough to get that Hex off. But I'm not sure whether you can, because, again, the awkward ganking path, you're either walking up a ramp on the mid lane, or you're actually, you know, going in from the left side, which both cases is going to be very, very difficult because there's a tower. So I don't expect this gank to actually work out.
Yeah, they could look to loop all the way around, like loop around and go from behind, but that's going to take a lot of time and be quite difficult to do. What they can maybe just try to get is a Shadow Demon Disruption to lead. I think they have to lead with the Disruption. It's a long-range initiation, and the Hex animation is faster than the Blink animation. So as soon as Queen of Pain comes out of the Disruption, you can Hex before there's a Blink. So I think that's going to be what MiTH Trust look for, but it's, like you say, it's very difficult, hard to execute. And if Queen of Pain is in the right position, I mean, it's not so much about predicting it coming and being in the right position. A lot of it's going to come down to chance as to where Queen of Pain is positioned in the lane when they come in. Queen of Pain may just be ungankable here.
Yep, we'll see where it works out. Again, if they fail this gank, it's not exactly really a big loss. I mean, they have done a lot in terms of pulling the jungle. They have done a lot in terms of leveling up. You know, the time wasted is not a big deal. The smoke being wasted is not a big deal either. So might as well do this gank, and we'll see if it actually works out. Abba's going to be checking for a regen. Very lucky for him to actually grab that one. And maybe they're actually going to go for the bot lane here for the Clockwork as it's getting closer and closer to tower. I like this gank a lot more. It's an easier gank, and it's a lot safer as a gank as well. Here we go. It's actually going to go on high ground. Oh, there's going to be a poison for a little bit of sight. There's going to be disruption, and I think we're going to see first blood here. We're going to see easy Hex. Going to be shackled immediately after. There you go. Mofi is going to pick up the first blood. Ooh, Shadow Demon, SD.
You want to give that to your anti-mage.
You do, you really do.
All about the battle free. I think there's some carries, you're quite happy for your support to get some early kills, but when it's an anti-mage, you want him getting that first blood, because you want that battle free up as fast as possible. If you have something like a gyrocopter or whatever it may be, even something like a lone druid, giving your support some early golden farm to get their boots isn't too bad, but anti-mage is the one exception.
Yep. I mean, any Battle Fury holders, Void, for example,
Yeah.
they really want that go as well. Storm Spirit, by the way, on the top lane, not level 6 just yet. Going for a very, very standard Storm Spirit build. Already up to treads, and that's going to be an indication of we're going to see it Orchid build. Double Orchid against this particular lineup is going to be absolutely brutal. Magnus, Shadow the Urge. Well, basically every single on this team you want to basically a silence against. So I love the double Orchid attempt. I assume it's going to be double Orchid. Queen of Pain is going to be the other Orchid holder. But for now, they're working on this tier 1 tower, and there's just basically no reinforcement coming from the Darkseer. Darkseer is available, but he's definitely got to respect the initiation range coming from this trialing up top, especially now that Stormseer has hit level 6 and getting a tower kill. Very nicely done.
Yeah, there's no defending that tower. He can drop these iron shells from afar, but he's just going to have to let it go because Storm Spirit with level 6, they can zip on after him. And TNK actually already a bit low on HP. He's sitting around 2/3, so he doesn't want to go anywhere near this lane. And, well, neither team are going to be looking to sort of defend their towers for the time being. And MiTH haven't really put a whole lot of pressure on at bottom, despite it just being that off-lane clockwork. It seems they just want to keep that creep equilibrium, have Antimage continue to farm. Lakells, he's up to 1k gold, and he's on par with Storm, as you'd expect. A couple of creeps here or there difference, but this is pretty much trading free farm for free farm. And the question is, does Mag look to go gank, or does Queen of Pain look to go gank anytime soon?
I think the action is going to heat up a little bit starting from Rising Star. I know a lot of you guys at home is wondering to yourself, why do we only have 1 kill in this 6.5 minute game? That's how the two teams are designed. Neither team wants to go gank. Talked about the difficulty to actually gank that mid lane. And both teams happy to rise up. Of course, the Dire is starting to look for some early aggression because Storm Spirit hits level 6, level 7, and that Orchid is going to be coming soon. Very much the same for the Queen of Pain. It looks like they might actually start to get the gank on the mid lane. Again, we talked about how difficult it is actually to get that gank off, but they're going to do that long loop around. Disruption opening is going to be good, and let's see if they're going to get Queen of Pain.
Even a mag skewer into an RP could be the way. They reveal themselves coming in. Need a skewer with an RP. There is a surge coming from the Darks here, but Queen of Pain still out of range. I think they approach that roll, and now he's dead. Sand King comes in rotation. I think they need to lead with the skewer RP. They just had to blow an RP to get that solo kill there, but they tried to get the disruption to lead things off, and that did not work out at all for them.
Yeah, I mean, not getting the gank off, that's fine, but giving a free kill to any support so they rank higher than you, that's not actually good at all. Another way, if you don't want to leave with a skewer, as they're going to go on Mofi on the bot lane, very, very easy kill. And teammates does get the last hit this time, so that's going to propel his Battle Fury. Another way to actually get off that mid gank is actually have a Shadow Demon up on your hill and get Surge. We saw the Magnus getting Surge, and he's trying to skewer across for that RP. Getting a Shadow Demon Surge in for that disruption is also going to be fine, but a little bit of miscommunication here from TNK and MiTH, and they really missed an opportunity.
Yeah, they missed an opportunity. They give away some gold to the Queen of Pain. Are we looking at an Orchid? We can't really quite tell yet with Air. He's got himself Haste Rune Bottle at bottom. He's got Boots and El Talisman. Picks up a Belt and Giant Strength. He's just going to be building some treads for the time being. So not obvious yet whether he's going for the Orchid. But the beauty of this Storm getting this fast on Orchid is he can just constantly gank this Antimage. This Antimage is going to need a lot of protection because it's Battle Fury, then you want your treads. Well, maybe not treads. Battle Fury, then Manta. He's got his Tranquil Boots. And until you have that Manta, you're so prone to being ganked.
And here we go. Talked about you can't actually send a hero in the lane because a single pull and of course a big Illuminate, that's going to be a free kill. Of course they could easily regenerate their resource as well. Whenever you have Chakra Magic and Keeper of Light, those laning stage is so difficult for the enemy team. Not only that, the fact that the Dire team could jump on your hero anytime, it really discouraged for the Radiant to actually make ganks because suddenly if you're tower diving, a Stormstreak could zip in, a Queen of Pain could pull in, and you're basically throwing away free kills. So if you're MiTH, I think you just bunker down and try to farm, and hopefully you don't get ganked by Queen of Pain and Stormseer. But that's a really tall order.
Yeah, and they're still ganking. Ooh, mid lane. Sand King misses a stun on the Mag here. He skewers out just in time before the stun came. I think he may have been okay. Air was looking for a Blink Scream into a Sonic Wave. He didn't quite have enough mana. Well, he would have with a Magic one. So right now, I agree. MiTH, it's all about bunkering down, just basically trying to keep their own and not give away too many kills. They're going to get Shadow Shaman level 6 here, and they're actually going to be looking for another kill at bottom lane, but once again, the initiation is just really difficult. They don't have that long-range jump, and as soon as they come out of the jungle, Clockwork backs off, so they're struggling to find their openings thereafter. Yeah,
the opening is going to come if Shadow Demon has level 6, because that Purge actually has a very respectable range, but fortunately, didn't have it there, and it's not going to get the gank off. Oh, big mid, low RP on the millie. Not sure whether he's going to get that kill, and that's an RP down the drain. Now they're going to turn it around, and Abba just throws away a free kill. Not only that, with RP down, Dire could do whatever they want. TNK gets TP upon by the Storm Spirit. That's going to be a free kill as well. XTD survives, Storm Spirit survives, and a lot of XP to, again, these snowball heroes. We talked about how Queen of Pain, Storm Spirit, they need those levels, they need those kills. Well, they're getting it for free. Disappointing play from MiTH Trust.
Yeah, and Stormstreet, I love how he's not even going back to Fountain. He salves himself, he heads top, he's going to get shackled up by this Keeper of the Light. And this is a really nasty combo, having a Storm Keeper of the Light, because Storm is not going to have to worry about mana issues at all. 300 plus mana a pop, 300 mana exactly from that Chakra Magic, and he's good to go once again at the top lane. He's going to keep on farming, and he's almost finished his Orchid.
Yep. For anybody that's enjoying this game and would like to support the tournament, you could definitely buy a ticket, and there's a lot of good games. We're going to have Phase 2, 16 teams, and Phase 3, I believe, 8 teams. And, of course, the teams are getting better and better as we're going deeper and deeper tournament. So, definitely, do you want to support the tournament?
Yeah, 4 teams will survive from this phase number 2. The 4 teams we see today are essentially in a little mini group, and 1 team of the 4 will advance. We have the 2 first round matches, and then the second round matches is in a couple days after all the first round matches. So the 2 winners from yesterday, MUFC and Rattlesnake, those 2 teams will play each other to decide who advances to the phase 3, and the winner of this match will play the winner of the later match, which is 4 Love versus Chain Stack. So these 2 winners will verse each other, and one of those teams will advance. So we've essentially got 4 little mini groups, and each group will see one advance to join who they join: Orange, LGD, DK, as well as IG. So those are your 4 LAN finalists from last year.
Yeah, speaking of 4 Love, I'm actually very much so looking forward to cast that particular series, because King J, which is a very, very well-known player, back in the legendary eHome 2010 team where they beat just about everybody, is a recent pickup for 4 Love. So I want to see if he still got it. Of course, Zippo, a very, very legendary Chinese player as well, is going to be playing for 4 Love. Just showing you guys the bracket because we have a pretty big pause, and it looks like we're going to be going right back.
Yeah, we're good to go again, and Rising Stars, they're going to be controlling the tempo now, and it's something which Mythcraft can't do anything about. All they can do is look to ward up, try and see this game coming in. I think a big thing is to have the lane wards. They've got one at bottom to help protect the Anti-Mage, which is going to be key, especially as Stormspear gets, well, Orchid up in 500-600 gold, and they just need to really be being very proactive at predicting the movement around the map and knowing who they need to protect. They're going to do so at top lane. They're actually going to look for a bit of a gank here, but this is not going to end well for them. Sandking is there. Keep it light. So they need a stun on this Shadow Summon. 3-man Burrow Strike. R5 is in all sorts of trouble. He leads his team to their own death. TNK goes down as well. What a great bait.
I mean, baiting Stormster is not something you see too often, because it would be almost mad, almost dumb, I want to say, to actually try to gank the enemy Sorcerer. That's what we saw, and it's not working out here for MiTH Trust. I just want to point out every single kill so far that Rising Stars had is because of a smoke gank or because of a gank attempt coming from the Radiant side. And really, it's getting more and more difficult to actually get these ganks off. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, though, big kill and a dire courier kill here on the MiTH Trust. Sorry for missing that action, but look at Lakel's gold. He's up to 3K, purchased something big here. And those is that Battle Fury. He's actually sending it to the secret shop as well. So we're going to have a 12-13 minute Battle Fury, which I have to say, one of the fastest Battle Fury, especially with Tranquil Boots and the Poor Man's Show upgrade. But I'm not sure if that's enough.
Yeah, I think he's sending a bit preemptive with the send as well. He's still only sitting on 500 gold. He still needs another 300 before he gets up to that Battle Fury. But we'll see him look to get that in the neutrals here, as well as bottom lane, which is pushing out. And I agree. I don't know if it's going to be enough. And Battle Fury alone, it's going to accelerate his farm. But I imagine we see Rising Stars maybe even just start to look to proactively gank him now with Storm Spirit. Completed Orchid is there. He's up to 1k gold, which is more than enough. Chakra Magic just being used to help him get back to the fountain that bit sooner. And there's your Orchid. But picks up a TP scroll with it, and he's ready to start ganking. Probably going to look for that anti-mage.
Yeah, I mean, generally when we talk about 12-13 minute Battle Fury, that's, you know, entering a realm of, like, what are we going to do about this anti-mage? But that's not even what the Dire team's going to thinking about. Dire team says, all right, how are we going to win this game now? Because we have such a big advantage. Look at that Keeper of Light skill build. Generally, it's very customary to take actually a Spirit Form at level 6. Don't even need Recall. Don't even need Blind. You just want the maximum damage output as well as the maximum chakra magic. And looks like we're going to see a big group pushing attempt here from Rising Star on this bot lane. I don't think the Radiant can defend or will defend, and I'm sure that Rising Star is going to be happy starting to claim these towers for basically free.
Yeah, they want some towers here. I think they're also hoping to maybe find the Antimage here in the jungle, bringing all these heroes here. Like, okay, let's go hunt and find this Antimage. But he's actually swung mid. Mag going to TP bottom, and this could be for the worst for him because he's going to get blinked on. There is an Orchid if they need it, and they'll use it just to make sure there's no skewer out. TP gets cancelled by the Darks here. Rightfully so.
Well, another 35 gold down the drain here, and that's how it's going to get worked on. There is a glyph available, but with Magnus dead for 25 seconds, which is basically your best tower defender, well, you're not going to be able to defend that tower. So I think even that glyph is basically waste. So MiTH Trust is going to be doing the best thing they can do, is basically trade towers at this point. If you can't actually take a heads-up engagement, might as well take that trade and basically allow your anti-mage to do whatever he wants to do, which is basically free farming. He does have that Battle Fury finish at this point, so he's actually should be looking to pick up a Quelling Blade and then accelerate into whatever item that he wants to go into next, which I imagine should be a Manta style.
Yeah, you have to go for the Manta style against all these Orchids. If not, it's a BKB, but BKB right after your Battle Fury. You need the Manta, the Yasha, just for the attack speed and the good stats you get from it. So you can go Manta as well as a BKB, but you definitely need a Manta style after this Battle Fury.
Yep, and most likely he's even going to pick up that Ultimate War first, just for the extra survivability. I'm not sure what it will matter at all, but it's definitely going to help here. As we do see Orange on the bot lane, and that's Lakel's. Stormster could be making that big jump from... Oh, there's a jump, there's an Orchid from afar, and boy, he's dead. And that's actually going to be a... XTD even channeling the Epicenter. Hey, it don't matter if he whiffed it, he got the anti-mage kill, and that's absolutely brutal. It doesn't matter if you get a 12-minute Battle Fury if you're not using it.
Yeah, I think they were... Well, they thought the Anti-Mage was a lot squishier than he was, and they were going to find another initiation coming on R5 here, and Chakra's being used on Storm, so Storm's already mannered right back up, and they bring down Mag as well as Shadow Shaman. They now zip onto TNK, more kills to Rising Stars, and it's really not looking good for MiTH Trust all of a sudden. Anti-Mage just got completely popped, and the reason they overestimate how tanky he was is because he hasn't gone stats. He's actually gone for full mana break build. If he had lots of points in stats there, like a lot Anti-Mages often do, they would have needed that Epicenter, but it wasn't the case, and now they're going to get a tier 2 tower as well with that bottom lane.
I do want to point out that Storm's great play. He knows the most dangerous hero right now on the enemy team is the Magnus, so the Orchid just straight up went to him. Magnus suddenly being silenced, was in the middle of team fight and basically could not do anything. Looks like they're again choosing to take this team fight. Here we go, Magnus is going to come right in, but look at again, he's silenced, he's going to be pulled, he's going to be basically chainsawn. Nice defensive disruption, that might give him what they need, but it's not going to be, as the Clockwork Cogs blocking the retreat path of Abba, and it's going to disrupt the RP on a solo Clockwork. They might get that kill, but was it actually worth it? SC is going to be so low, he's going to be actually going back, but oh, Anti-Mage starting to do some work as well, but he's out of mana, doesn't even have the blink mana to go for it right now. He's going to be looking for super, does have blind available, but here comes Era. Ooh, nice mana barn forcing him away as well. I'm not sure how actually the Storm died. I imagine
Anti-Mage ulti.
Mana Void involved, yeah. But that actually went a lot better for MiTH than I expected.
Yeah, it was the turnaround. Anti-Mage just hunted down the Storm straight there, and you can't really run away. You have to stand your ground and fight, because if you're zipping away with your ultimate, he blinks after, and suddenly you just go squish to a level 2 mana void. So Anti-Mage hunted him down, which I think end of the day, it's a nice little pickup for MiTH Trust, but it's not going to be enough for now. You still got Anti-Mage who's just sitting on just above 800 gold, still a long way away from anything like a Manta style, and well, Rising Stars, they just look to group up again, go for some more pickups, go for some more towers to follow it up. Even if they really want, they can try and take down Roshan as well.
Man, the gold and EXP graph are just worlds apart here. 7,500 for both EXP and gold, and net worth is just not even close. Blink Dagger gets picked up here on the Sand King. Rising Air's Queen of Pain has an Orchid as well as a level 11 ultimate. So I don't know, man. This game is looking very tough on the Radiant side. They got to win a lot of those team fights, and unfortunately, it's going to be more and more difficult as the Dire team has insane mobility with the double, well, Storm is a big blink hero. Queen of Pain's a blink hero. Sand King, blink hero. And of course, Mofi, you can call me blink hero as well with that clockwork initiation. So Stormster TP's on the top lane, zips on Lakel's Anti-Mage. He actually missed the silence, defensive disruption, and Anti-Mage.
Silence.
Oh, he missed that one as well. So assuming if Rising Star won't be missing these silences, those kills should be basically elementary.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake there. Shadow Demon was there with a disruption, which may have kept Anti-Mage alive regardless, but it would have been a lot closer. A bit of a misclick there coming out from the Storm Spirit. But the big thing here separating the two teams, you look at these support items. Sand King with Arcane Boots and Blink Dagger. Keeper of the Lights had a mech up for some time, now has Gem and 1k plus gold. The Radiant team, even their offlaner Darkseid doesn't have his mech, so they've got just one hero with a lot of farm, and that's Anti-Mage. Mag has no blink. It's only Anti-Mage who's getting decent farm. Well,
they're going to focus on the Shadow Shaman. He's going to be dead immediately. TNK's on the run. They need some sight. Storm should be dropping a Remnant for Flying Vision, but they're going to focus on TNK, trying to TP out. Really good luck against that. They're going to pick up another kill. Here comes the Mag. Mag gets his Mana Burn. Can we get a Burrow Strike to seal the deal? He's running. He's running. He does not have Skewer for a couple seconds. He is dead as well. And right now, Rising Star is just hunting these guys alive.
Yeah, picking them off one by one. And MiTH, well, they with first. Oh, Blink Mana Void almost brings down the Storm Spirit, just not quite enough damage. 35 HP, and Antimage now finds this game turned around on him. Will survive the Sonic Wave with some help of having the 3 points in Spell Shield. That was aggressive of him. I like going for that kind of a play. If he gets that kill, well worth it.
Well, he was actually looking close to a double kill, but again, the level and item disadvantage is really preventing them from actually getting these kills. Whenever there's a big fight like that and you're basically 5 to 16 down, so much kills, so much gold, as the anti-mage player, you make basically a big interesting decision. Do you actually go in a fight because you are very, very strong, you do a lot of damage, you might be squishy, but you can actually blow up a couple of supports, or do you basically say, you know what, we can't take the fight now, let's hope that my teammate don't fee as much, and I'm going to rise as hard as I can. Oh no. That decision that he made about trying to actually help his team didn't really cost him, but it didn't really work out either case. And now they're Rising Star again, just doing way too much work.
Yeah, and if Keeper Light wants to start building towards a Scythe of Vice, get that extra lockdown, they've got all the options in the world, and Clockwork says he's had enough. He wants to go in for some revenge here after how he was treated at bottom lane, but with the Demonic Purge, it looks like he will go down here. Sankin will get off for 2 hero Bow Strike, Storm Spirit flying in on top. There's your silence going on to Arbar. Mag not going to have any chance to ulti out of this one. Xiao Tuji going to chase down Shadow Demon for his double kill as well now. He needs some more mana from this Keeper of the Light, and it should be coming fairly soon.
Ooh, I'm not sure what R5 thinks he is, but he's basically 1v5 as a support Shadow Shaman. He gets decimated as well. I mean, he has that Orchid, and that Orchid's been doing a lot of work, but I almost want to see if he had a Bloodstone, how many Bloodstone charges he would have, because we're going to be bordering at least like a 16, 17 Bloodstone charge. He's been involved in so many fights. Look at this, 816. Really, really beautiful score for a Storm Spirit.
He's got his goal for his BKB now, and, well, MiTH are finding themselves further and further behind, not looking anywhere close to a Blink Dagger on the Mag, not looking even close to the Anti-Mages. Well, Manta Style has just got his little Yasha parts there. He's not even got the full Yasha, and then Darkseer, still no mech. So all these Radiant heroes very, very starved for gold, and the Dire team, they're starting work on their second, third big item here. You've got Sankin with Arcane Blinks, you've got the Storm Spirit who's already finished off his BKB, and now Keeper of the Light with 3k gold. It is a huge, huge item discrepancy between the two teams.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't even think there is a possible comeback method. Maybe if Anti-Mage wins several team fight in a row by himself, but again, these items against the level disadvantage, I don't think it's actually even possible. But looks like they might try to bait the Anti-Mage, but little do they know, the entire team is coming for them. Invis.
Yeah. Well, there's a gem up on the Keeper of the Light, so they get some dewarding. They take out the Observer Ward. Sentry Ward's still sitting there, and I think the real thing that's sort of made this game so slightly lopsided right now is that MiTH were expecting him to go for some kind of hard carry, and with the Anti-Mage pick, it got punished by the two semi-carries. The Queen of Pain Storm Spirit just going super aggressive, ganking non-stop, and it's something which has just caught MiTH by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it being a third pick, and when there's 3 or 4 heroes basically used just to counter, it works perfectly fine. Storm Spirit is not a hero that I had in mind, but just judging from this particular game's performance, what other hero other than Storm Spirit? I mean, it seems like the perfect hero here.
Yeah, it's a mobile semi-carry potential there. They haven't really got the late game damage, but when you just start snowballing this badly, there's no real coming back at this point for MiTH, except from the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage has just got to find places to flash farm, and problem is right now his team is just giving away kill after kill, and not really by any fault of their own. They have to go out and try and get some farm on items, otherwise they're just sealing their own fate. But as soon as they do, Rising Stars are there to pounce, and this time it's DNK at the mid lane who gets caught out.
So I like what Lakel's is doing right now. If you can't farm your own jungle because it's completely warded off, try to farm in the enemy jungle. Now with that said, you got to be very careful about your blink usage because you can't blink into a group of 3 or 4 hero, gets orchided up, and like you said here, they're going to try to focus him down. Lakel's, ooh, Barbie just whiffs! That's a cue for them to push.
Yeah, and here comes Sankin from behind. Look at me looking for a Bow Strike. Should be able to get at least Arbor. Storm will go flying in. Oh, just stun. Only hits on one. It's going to be Anti-Mage at least, so Mag, and he's going to be on the run as well. Looks like we may see 2 little pickoffs. Blink, Queen of Pain. Hex is going to slow down Xiao Tuji. Hex takes a lot of damage here. Pops his BKB. He's got an Aegis though, so at this point it's maybe even just need to save that BKB for his respawn. Clockwork hooks out. He hooks to his teammate here. Is this actually going to keep him alive? He's keeping out as well. Not going to save his own life, and well, buyback from the Anti-Mage, he gets a kill, but not really worth it.
Yeah, not worth it at all. I mean, sometimes just say, well, I gotta get some levels. I gotta go back to the farm train. Actually, Storm Spirit being basically, you know, out of commission for a couple of seconds. Queen of Pain being somewhat low mana. I say that though. Can they actually click correctly on these Orchid? Because that would have been a dead anti-mage. Oh, actually, pretty decent disruption. He's going to blink back out. He's low. Oh my god. He's so low. Queen of Pain's looking for the kill. He's getting baited. Not actually baited, though, as Air still going to get the kill before he does die.
Well, it's not... It's been a bit of sloppy play here and there from... Well, not I wouldn't even call it sloppy. I'd just say a couple misclicks here and there that you wouldn't normally expect, but it happens even to the best of players, and it has helped MiTH get a few freebies here and there. Queen of Pain going down behind the tower, and it's still just... They're not really... They're getting a kill, but what were they actually gaining as far as gold, experience, or map control? They're not really getting anything out of it. Mag now has a blink dagger up, but... all in all, things are still looking very, very desperate for MiTH.
Well, there's a mech being picked up here, and that's going to actually make him a little bit more difficult to gank up. Looks like they're going to try anyways. Ooh, Stormspirit now says, I just ran into 2 heroes. Oh, they're going to go, and I think he didn't realize there's a mech available. That should actually be enough. As I say that, the damage output is absolutely too much. Still zipping around, and the last hit with the overload bonus going to bring him down. The hook coming in from Clockwork. Nope, no hook indeed. And look at these item purchases. Clock's going to be going for a Vanguard. He's basically unkillable. Super already with this mech. You talked about the 3k earlier. A lot of that went into a 4-staff and that gem. And I think it's actually time for them to start looking at Raxus at this point.
Yeah, they've got it. It's going to be a slow and steady Raxus. They haven't got huge DPS here, but they're going to keep looking to get these pickoffs. They take down Shadow Demon now, and every pickoff they get is to help them go for that next push. I love what this Keeper of the Light and Storm are doing. He drops his Orchid, and then he gets Chakra and picks up his Orchid again. He's done that twice in a row now. They're being so cost-efficient, Rising Stars. And, well, they're going to look for more pickoffs and look to try to take these last out of Tier 2 towers.
Yeah, I mean, they could have been swapping treads and even dropping the Ultimate Orb as well. But, yeah, the big thing is dropping your Orchid to make your mana pool smaller, regen a big portion of mana, and then go back to work. Does he want to zip on Anti-Mage? Anti-Mage definitely got backup, so... Gotta be careful where he's zipping in. We saw before that if you're low in mana pool, Anti-Mage would not hesitate to drop that Mana Void, and suddenly that gank might turn against you.
Yeah, Anti-Mage has a completed Yasha, but still a long way from his mat cell. The one thing I don't like is he didn't end up actually going for that Quelling Blade you mentioned, which Anti-Mage just normally pick up after your battle free. It just accelerates your farm. You make up for that 200 gold by how much faster you're farming in your own neutral, so he hasn't gone for that, but... Right now, I feel like it wouldn't be fixing this game. This game would be in the position we're in, with or without the Quelling Blade.
Well, farming under enemy ward is... Well, big RP being dropped, but where's the damage source going to come from? There's a decent vacuum and wall, but that wall is just simply way too late. Stormspirit pops the BKB, and he's just going to work at this point. Sees Abba. Abba's dead. Are they going to keep diving the base? Looks like they don't need to. Meanwhile, looks like SD going to be dead as well. No, he just runs out. Gem's going to get dropped. Epicenter finally going to get channeled. The Ethershark doing a decent amount of damage, but just not enough damage. Looking how close that teamfight went, because how low the HP the remaining heroes were. I say if the Radiant had a more coordinated team fight, they could have won it, but the item differences, the level differences, simply too big, and Stormster is going to feed his Aegis to basically get full mana, full HP.
Yeah, full mana, full HP. He knew that Aegis was about to expire. In fact, it was just going away in about 20-30 seconds time, so dies just in time, and now they get the Tier 2 tower. They've got about 10-15 seconds to look to start chipping at this Tier 3, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. They're just going to back off, knowing it's a bit too dangerous to hang around for too much longer. They've also got Scythe of Vice finished on Stormspirit if they want to pick that up now.
Yeah, Scythe of Vice is going to be finished. Mofi's Vanguard is going to be finished. BKB might be up very, very soon on the Queen of Pain. And again, the Radiant's hanging in. I mean, if your Raxus is not down, keep playing. I think, like you said, Rising Stars got a couple of misclicks or making a little bit of hiccup plays. But I think once Anti-Mage gets up to his Manta, does it have it? Well, I say that. Is he ever going to get up to his Manta?
It's ridiculously hard. He can be solo killed by Stormspirit. Queen of Pain, maybe not solo killing him, but Queen of Pain with any other hero can kill him.
Right.
And it's really difficult to find anywhere to farm right now.
I mean, even if he gets up to Manstyle to debuff that Orchid, there's still that Scythe of Vice from the Storm. So I just don't think it's possible to win this game anymore.
Yeah, and more pickoffs going their way. Stormspirit now moves on to the Mag, and the Silence is there. They don't not even using this Scythe of Vice. He kills Antimates and goes on, kills the Mag without using a Scythe of Vice. He now uses it onto R5. Looks like R5 is going to be kept alive with some backup here. And Shadow Demon as well as Darkseid both coming in. Storm decides not to hang around and fight.
Yeah, pretty defensive play. I thought he actually, with the BKB available, he would have just Remnant on top and basically got a free kill. But hey, why give the enemy team any avenue of comeback, especially when Air is going to come in? There's nothing to misclick on, so he got the SD. And looks like you're going to get that kill as well.
Yep, another pick off. And now, well, things I imagine the GG call may not be too far off if Anti-Mage gets caught out again. And the problem is, with a Manta style, they can look to turn this around, but that Manta style is not coming anytime soon. He's just getting punished severely every time he pokes his head out, and that's just going to keep on happening. Aegis going to be back up on the Rising Star side in the next 2-3 minutes if they want to go for it, but they're not even going to wait around. They're going to go on TNK now at bottom. This time the silence does land, and once again, and Sanking's there with a blink stun, and Sanking 3k gold. Everyone on this dire side just with buckets and buckets of gold.
Yep. Too much gold. Can't even hold it in your hands. They are just dropping everywhere.
It's a buffet, and, well, everyone's getting fat.
Well, I know one team is not getting fat. These are like the starving kids.
Yeah. they are really struggling right now, and it's things. There is really no silver lining to this. There's no turning this game around at this point. I mean, they're not calling GG yet, obviously, but as a commentator, I have to say there is almost next to nothing that they can do except hope and pray that Rising Stars makes some really over-aggressive and just big overextensions that MiTH Trust can punish. But right now, it doesn't look like they're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, generally, if you let's say you're down a big team fight item and you basically, all right, let's go basically turtle until we get those big team fight items and hopefully get a wombo combo victory. They got those team fight items for a while. The Mech Elf for the Darkseer. They got the Blink Dagger for a long time. Magnus. It's just that because the Rising Stars lineup is so mobile, they never actually need to team fight. In fact, we haven't even seen a single team fight right so far. It's just all zips and blinks and blink daggers and ganks. And you can see that despite the big lead they are, Rising Stars still not pushing in the base because you never know a 4-man RP could turn things around.
Yeah, it's the one thing which is risky to push into. Also, the fact that they haven't got the best reliable damage for taking down these tier 3 towers. Stormspirit, Queen of Pain, great for ganking, great for picking off in these team fights, but as far as actually pushing high ground, you haven't got something like, even having a lifestealer who can just go and pop the rage and start hitting the tower, you haven't really got that magic immune hero or that hard carry who's got an Aegis who can sit in the front just hitting away on the tier 3 tower. They've got to play this safe, and their lineup's designed for killing heroes, not towers.
Yeah.
Even with maybe Storm picking up this next Aegis, it's still really hard to push high ground just because of their general hero composition.
Well, if Stormstriker with the Aegis could zip in and kill 3 or 4 people, then at that point they don't really care. But again, with that said, I mean, because they're not pushing despite their big lead, Kells is farming because they have nothing to lose. The game is basically lost in my opinion, so why not just keep holding on to what you got, and you know, maybe if you have a 0.5% chance, you play for that 0.5% chance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, nothing wrong with that attitude right now, and it's going to take something completely miraculous, but if you don't stay in the game, you don't put yourself in that position for it to happen. Unfortunately, Rising Star is going to just play this as methodically as possible. They're now waiting around the Roshan pit. Zhao Chuji, he's summoning his team. He says, come on, guys, where are you? I want this Aegis. I want this now. Air. He's up to 3k gold. I'd love a Queen of Pain at this point to get something like a Desolator. You want to have that minus armor to help push high ground onto those towers. It makes them a lot more killable. So I think Queen of Pain getting something like a Desolator would help a lot here.
Sure. And of course, this is the richest Keeper of Life I've seen in my life. Is that the second time he's hit 3k go? He's like, again, don't know what to do with my gold. Can't hold it all in my hands. Too much.
I mean, the Keeper of the Light and the Sand King, they're almost competing with the Anti-Mage for net worth. They're just 1.5k gold behind.
That's really sad. That's really sad.
This is an Anti-Mage who's meant to be an incredibly fast flash farmer, but with that said, Anti-Mage, he's almost got his Manta Style. He's got his enough for his ultimate orb, which you may as well buy. If you're buying back, you lose.
Well, yeah, he sells his poor man shield. And it's a little bit short. Sell that TP scroll, man. You're not leaving your base. Really. Oh, yeah. He's going to wait for that last 3 or 4 gold. And alright, here comes Rising Star with Aegis and no cheese, right? Because that was the second Aegis. Looks like Queen of Pain is going to go for the, what you call a pretty standard next logical item. It's going to be a Shiva Scar. But yeah, I agree with you there. I think maybe perhaps Desolator a little bit more useful for now.
I think anything at this point, as long as you're using your gold and buying items, it's going to help you out in the long term. And MiTH Trust, well, they have to drop the Serpent Wards. They're going to try and just stall this push as much as possible. And they can do so pretty easily. They've got a good high ground defending lineup up against a very bad high ground breaching lineup. So they do drop the wards, and now they send TNK up front, Kells up front with his Manta Style. So if he gets jumped by a Silence, he is going to have that Manta Style.
Ooh, burning a little bit of Kells mana, which he has a bunch of left, so no big deal. Storm Spirit is, my eyes is on you. Where are you going to be jumping in? Again, with the Aegis up on Storm, you could basically just zip across the map. Don't really care. And all you have to do, not exactly kill people, but disrupt them as much as possible, because when you're disrupting them, they're not defending in front of their high ground, and it really allows your team to basically walk in. Here we go, jump in, he sees ST. ST's the target to go for because, well, he's the one that's going to be disrupting whoever you do go for. Lakel's going to get focused. Big RP does get dropped. Stormster, though, it's going to back to 4 HP. The mech's going to be on Lakel. Lakel's blink back out, so he's going to survive for a little bit longer, but that little bit longer, that's all the time in the world for this Stormster to go for as many kills as possible. He sits back out. It's time for Rising Star to actually focus on this Rex, but the Glyph, a very well-timed Glyph's going to keep them in place. The rack stands. Aegis is down. Is this the beginning of a comeback?
No.
Okay. I agree. I agree.
I mean, it's not beginning of a comeback, but I don't think. I mean, it's still a good hold. MiTH Trust held that well, but the next push is going to come soon. There's no Aegis still, but I still think Rising Stars have the edge. It was more the way Rising Stars initiated was a bit too aggressive. I think they got a bit ahead of themselves out, usually just taking out the Shadow Demon. And these low level and low edge, well, mostly just low levels, they're respawning pretty fast. They're also buying back from the Shadow Shaman, so it's very expensive to defend that. And they only just had Antimate survive. Luckily, he does survive, but it's still going to be a long time before we can start looking at this as a comeback. It's still possible, though.
It definitely is possible, especially if Rising Star is going to be making a couple of mistakes here and there. And Anti-Mage, if you let him leave that base, and especially travel all the way to the other map into your jungle uninterrupted, that's where he really starts to get scary. Air is on the top lane here. It's going to be difficult to... Oh, I'll talk about that later. As Stormster is invised up, he sees a couple... Oh, no, they're going to grab him. They're going to grab a kill on... Ooh, that's a big goal increase for Lakel's.
Yeah, I mean, if that's more to me the start of a comeback than that last fight in their own base, killing off a Storm Spirit who's level 21, the gold and the XP. The XP is going to the XP. Look at this graph, 35k XP. Gold is at about 25k. I imagine it's a nice little jump for the XP graph after that just that one kill on a level 21 Storm Spirit.
For me, it's actually that time that Storm is dead. Like, what, 60, 70 seconds? Look at the entire MiTH Trust team. It's like, all right, you're dead for a couple seconds. I'm going to leave my base and start even pressuring that tier 1. I think it will be the death of the tier 1. Now, Stormster, they got to respect the fact that he has buyback, but he actually does not, because... Well, Lakel's going to get a tower there as well. Actually, even baits out Glyph. I mean, they could actually press for a little bit more. I do hear BKB being popped. They're going to focus on the 2 sub. Oh, big RP. That's going to even cancel the epicenter that's being channeled right now. Where's the Anti-Mage? Anti-Mage blinking around. Are they going for the kills? He's going to be working on Sankey. Sankey's extremely tank. He's going to blink back out, and Mana is being burnt out away from Lakel's. MiTH Trust should be running. They have actually pressed as much as they could possibly press without really losing a lot of heroes. And again, I think it's... Again, not a comeback, but a step to the right direction. I think that's a better...
They lost 2 there, unfortunately. They did hang around a bit too long. That fight almost went perfect for them. The Mag ultimate, the Anti-Mage was in there doing damage. He just couldn't quite finish off anyone. If he had the Mana Void, he didn't have Mana for it. If he had that, he probably gets at least 1 kill, maybe even a couple kills. Unfortunately now, Zaltuji respawns and he's going to have that Bloodstone up fairly soon. And MiTH Trust, they're fighting pretty decently, and with Darkseer and Mag late game, even an underfarmed Darkseer and Mag, as long as you have, the Mag's got level 2 ultimate with a Blink Dagger, Darkseer level 13, so we see a level 2 Wall of Replica. They can hold using these heroes here. And Antimate, he just needs more space and time to farm, and he's getting just that. He's up to level 17 now. That's the other big thing. He's got a level 3 ulti. This allows him to bring down Storm really fast. And I'm surprised Storm didn't go for something like a Lincoln Sphere just because of this Anti-Mage ultimate, as well as the Shadow Shaman disables, which can basically be the end of him.
I mean, he really does not expect, in my opinion, to really this game to go as late. I think they were thinking that we will be drafting game 2 by now, and I was thinking it like that too, you know, at least 20 minutes ago. Lakel's getting room in his jungle, although he's going to be seen by Observer War. You can see that MiTH Trust is camping basically the entire team behind him. Look at this, blinking up the high ground, but he's going to be, oh, skewered downwards as well. BKB is down, and if this BKB run out and you get a Hex on him, he could be dead, and exactly do so right now. There's the Shackle on top as well, and looks like the Stormster is going to die a second time. Blink forward, Anti-Mage, he finds him. He's dead as well. No buyback, of course. Dead for about 80 more seconds. XTD, though, he blinks in, and he's doing a lot of work. Do we have that big RP? He has it on cooldown, but just no man to use it, and oh no, Stormster, or excuse me, Anti-Mage drops there, and that's it. That's really it. Double buyback comes back.
Yeah. Double buyback will buy him some time. Stormstreet's still dead, and Anthony actually didn't even have to use his ultimate to kill off the Storm through there. He was still sitting on about 350 mana, but then he just kept on walking. He was mana leaked. He lost all his mana to mana leak, and I think partially the Necromonicons. And once he had no mana, he got caught out. Now it's going to be TNK getting jumped in his own base. Antimage, he's there trying to hold. He's still got this ultimate as well, 600 gold, but another mana leak comes out. This mana leak has really been the end of him. This is a super carry Keeper of the Light that we're seeing here.
It really is. Oh no, Darkseer's gonna be dead as well. That's after buyback. Anti-Mage walking those cogs. He's out of mana. Let's not forget about the mana burning of the cogs. So he has to go back and start regenning up. That's gonna be the mid-racks. So I thought it was, again, a beginning of a comeback. Anti-Mage could not have died in any of these fights. The rack still lives. The rack still live. They're gonna purge on Mofi and try to get the kill. Anti-Mage blink in that. No, he gets orchided up. He gets mana leak. He just... Oh, I feel so bad for Lakels right now.
Mana leak for his staff. They're causing him a lot of problems here, and he needs that precious mana back. What an RP! This could be the turnaround. Is there a mana void? There is. It's not going to do quite enough damage here. Lakel's going to go blinking in. Can he finish on off? Mofi, he's low HP, he's low mana, but none of these heroes. Another mana leak comes out. Necrobooker's there as well, and finally Stormer's back. This time, he's going to get things done the right way. And unfortunately for MiTH Trust, that means the end of them. Queen of Pain with a scream finished off Shadow Demon, and it's only Mag alive with a sliver of HP, back at the fountain now, and this will be Rax's.
And that will be the game.
Possibly more, and more likely this will be game.
I mean, again, for MiTH Trust, they made it as much as they could for a 12-47 game. Like, looking at the scores, absolutely ridiculous how far MiTH Trust is behind. But they played it well enough. I mean, maybe they even have a little bit of momentum going in the game too. Like, you know what? We got utterly dominated, but we made sort of a game out of it for Rising Star.
Yeah, at the end they did put up. They managed to find some pick-offs here and there. That's something which I think psychologically MiTH Trust will be happy about, because Rising Stars, they gave away a few silly kills. The game got prolonged a bit, and Rising Stars will be thinking, hey, those were mistakes that we shouldn't have made. Sure, they weren't really ever in a position to lose this game, but they did make mistakes which, in another game, could have cost them the game. As it is, they're 50k XP in the lead, and
I've never seen a big number as ridiculous as a number like this. But again, like you said, that is a psychological thing going into game too.
I think MiTH Trust will be happy with how this game ended, considering how far behind. I'd say happy, but obviously they're losing this game. But I think it could have gone worse for them if they just typed GG and tapped out. But it is going to be Rising Stars who take game number 1 here in our best of 3. This is a single elimination. If you lose this, you're out of the G1 league. So it's everything at stake here. Best of 3, sorry. And taking that 1-game lead is the Chinese team, is Rising Stars.
Rising Stars, pun fully intended, is rising through the G1 league brackets, which we will show here in just a bit. But for now, game 1 goes to Rising Star. This is a presentation of Beyond the Summit. He's Gods, I am Luminous, and yes, if you guys don't know, we're both David and David.
Yeah, we
I love saying that, which I think gets tiring by the 30th time.
It's cheesy, but
it is really cheesy.
It's got a ring to it. LD likes his cheesy sentiments.
He does.
He's a very sentimental kind of guy. But I think he's actually going to be casting this series later on tonight, so be sure to tune into our later series, which is For Love Playing. So I think him and Lumi will be casting that later series. I'll be doing some other work, but right now it is going to be Rising Stars. We'll see the throne go down in just a second for all you stat junkies. I'm so used to saying in the game, because I remember before there was like Dota TV replays, Bruno would always message me saying, you have to leave the scoreboard up at the end of the game for Dota Academy, so I'd always stay in the game till the very end. Yeah, now we just do it out of habits because we've done it so much. But game 1 is in the book. Rising Star leads the best of 3 series in a 1-0 advantage. We'll be back for game number 2, so don't go anywhere, guys.